Before we get started, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more terrifying content. Terror in the Ozarks, Jack. Part 1, The Haunted Mill. Nestled deep within the forbidding Ozark Mountains, the town of Willow Creek held secrets that whispered through the pines and haunted the minds of its inhabitants. Among these secrets was the old mill at the edge of town, a decrepit structure with a dark past that loomed over the sleepy community like a specter in the night. Jack, a young man with an insatiable curiosity for the supernatural, had grown up hearing unsettling tales about the mill. It was said that strange lights flickered in its windows at night, and eerie sounds echoed from its abandoned halls. Despite warnings from the townsfolk, Jack's fascination only deepened with each passing year. One fateful summer evening, fueled by a dare from his friends and driven by an unshakable curiosity, Jack decided to confront the mill's mysteries head-on. As he approached the crumbling structure, a chill wind seemed to blow through his bones, carrying with it whispers of long-forgotten secrets and restless spirits. Stepping cautiously over the threshold, Jack's senses were immediately assaulted by the musty smell of decay and the eerie silence that hung heavy in the air. Shadows danced on the walls, flickering like phantoms in the dim light filtering through broken windows. The floorboards groaned under his weight, as if protesting his intrusion into their long-held solitude. Venturing deeper into the labyrinthine corridors of the mill, Jack's heart raced with a mixture of fear and exhilaration. He knew he was treading on dangerous ground, but something inexplicable drew him onward, a primal curiosity to uncover the truth behind the town's most notorious haunting. It was in a forgotten chamber, tucked away behind a crumbling brick wall, that Jack stumbled upon the first clue, a weathered diary hidden beneath a rotting floorboard. Its leather cover was cracked with age, its pages yellowed and fragile. Jack hesitated for a moment, his fingers trembling as he brushed away the dust of decades past. The diary belonged to a mill worker from the 19th century, whose words told a tale of forbidden love and tragic betrayal. It spoke of a young woman, Mary, who had fallen in love with a mill owner's son, Jonathan, despite the social divide that separated them. Their clandestine meetings in the shadow of the mill's towering walls had been a brief respite from the harsh realities of their time. But their love was not destined to last. Jonathan's father, a ruthless and unforgiving man, had discovered their secret and vowed to put an end to their illicit affair. In a fit of rage and jealousy, he had confronted Mary one stormy night by the mill's water wheel, where their love had flourished in secret. The final entries in the diary were a testament to Mary's anguish and despair, a plea for forgiveness that went unanswered, and a vow to haunt the mill until the end of days. It was said that her spirit had remained trapped within its walls, unable to find peace in life or death. As Jack read Mary's heartbreaking tale, a sudden chill ran down his spine. The air around him seemed to grow colder, as if Mary's restless spirit had awakened from its slumber. In the darkness, he heard faint whispers, soft, mournful voices that seemed to echo from the very walls of the mill itself. Then, as if in response to his presence, a flickering light appeared at the far end of the corridor. Jack's heart skipped a beat as he turned toward the source of the light, his breath catching in his throat. There, standing before him, was the ghostly figure of Mary, a spectral apparition dressed in a tattered gown, her translucent form shimmering in the dim glow of moonlight filtering through the window. Her eyes, once bright with love and life, were now filled with an otherworldly sadness that pierced Jack's soul. She reached out to him, her ethereal hand trembling as if yearning to be held once more. Jack stood frozen in place, unable to tear his eyes away from Mary's haunting visage. He had heard stories of the mill's spectral inhabitant, but nothing could have prepared him for the overwhelming sense of sorrow and longing that radiated from her ghostly form. For a moment that seemed to stretch into eternity, Jack and Mary stood in silence, their worlds bridged by the fragile threads of past and present. He felt an inexplicable urge to reach out to her, to comfort her in her eternal solitude, but before he could speak, a sudden gust of wind extinguished his lantern, plunging them both into darkness. In the pitch-black silence that followed, Jack's heart pounded in his chest as he fumbled for a match to relight his lantern. When the feeble flame finally flickered back to life, Mary was gone, leaving behind only the echo of her mournful whispers and the weight of centuries-old sorrow hanging heavy in the air. Trembling with a mixture of awe and trepidation, Jack knew that his encounter with Mary's ghost had forever changed him. He had glimpsed into the shadowy depths of Willow Creek's haunted history, and he knew that there were more secrets waiting to be uncovered in the darkness. As he made his way out of the mill, the moonlit path before him seemed to stretch infinitely into the night. Behind him, the old structure loomed like a silent sentinel, guarding its secrets and the restless spirits that dwelled within its walls. Little did Jack know, his journey into the supernatural had only just begun. The haunted mill was just the beginning, a tantalizing glimpse into a world where the veil between the living and the dead was thin, and where the past had a way of reaching out to touch the present in unexpected and chilling ways. Part 2: The Shadow in the Woods. Years passed, and Jack's obsession with the paranormal deepened. He spent his days scouring ancient manuscripts and speaking with local elders, piecing together fragments of forgotten legends hidden within the Ozark's dense forests. One crisp autumn afternoon, while exploring a remote trail, Jack glimpsed a fleeting shadow darting among the trees. Intrigued and unnerved, he followed the elusive figure deeper into the woods, where the trees seemed to whisper secrets of their own. As twilight descended, Jack stumbled upon a clearing bathed in an unnatural blue light. At its center stood a spectral figure, its eyes blazing with a mixture of longing and sorrow. The spirit beckoned him closer, its voice a faint echo in the cool evening breeze. Drawn into the spirit's tale of betrayal and tragedy, Jack vowed to unravel the mystery and free the tormented soul from its spectral prison. But as he delved deeper into the forest's ancient lore, he sensed darker forces stirring, an ominous presence watching his every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Unbeknownst to Jack, the Wendigo, a malevolent spirit driven by insatiable hunger, had taken notice of his presence. With each step deeper into the woods, Jack unwittingly drew closer to the Wendigo's domain, where the boundaries between the natural and supernatural realms blurred. Part 3: The Wendigo's Wrath. Winter settled over Willow Creek, cloaking the landscape in a blanket of snow and ice. Reports of missing hikers and unsettling encounters deep in the woods cast a shadow over the once peaceful town. Whispers of a Wendigo, a vengeful spirit driven by insatiable hunger, haunted Jack's dreams and fueled his determination to protect his community. Armed with ancient charms and silver-tipped arrows, Jack ventured into the heart of the frozen wilderness, guided by cryptic clues and the fading echoes of the Wendigo's chilling cries. His breath hung in the frigid air as he tracked the creature's elusive trail through the silent, snow-laden forest. One moonlit night, Jack encountered the Wendigo, a towering specter with eyes that burned like frostbite. The creature's unearthly howls pierced the stillness, sending a shiver down Jack's spine. In a desperate battle for survival, he fought with a primal fury, his every move a dance of life and death against the Wendigo's relentless onslaught. As dawn broke over the icy landscape, Jack emerged victorious, the Wendigo's dark essence dissipating into the morning mist. Yet, the encounter left scars, both physical and spiritual, that would haunt him long after the snow melted and spring returned to Willow Creek. Part 4: The Reckoning. Months passed, and Jack struggled to find solace in the quiet rhythms of daily life. The town buzzed with whispers of his bravery, but Jack knew the truth. Darkness still lurked in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity to strike. The supernatural had woven itself into his existence, forever altering the course of his fate. One stormy evening, as lightning flashed and thunder echoed through the hills, a chilling premonition gripped Jack's heart. The Wendigo's vengeful spirit had not been vanquished, it had merely retreated, biding its time for a reckoning. A frantic knock shattered the silence, drawing Jack to the cabin door. With trembling hands, he opened it to find a figure standing in the rain, a woman with eyes that burned with an otherworldly intensity. Eleanor, a researcher of the paranormal, had traveled from afar, drawn by tales of Jack's harrowing encounters with the supernatural. With a knowing smile, Eleanor spoke of ancient prophecies and forgotten rituals that bound their destinies together. She had followed Jack's journey from the shadows, sensing a connection that transcended time and space. Together, Jack and Eleanor embarked on a new chapter, united in their quest to unravel the mysteries that haunted the Ozarks. Armed with knowledge, courage, and a bond forged in the crucible of darkness, they stood against the encroaching night, ready to face whatever horrors lurked beyond the veil. Part 5: The Unending Darkness. As Jack and Eleanor stood victorious over the fallen Wendigo, its malevolent form dissolving into wisps of smoke, they felt a fleeting sense of relief. The cavern around them echoed with the remnants of battle, their breaths heavy, hearts racing with adrenaline, yet a quiet unease lingered. Eleanor cautiously approached the dissipating shadow, her lantern casting flickering light on the cave walls. "It's not over," she murmured, voice tinged with foreboding as she examined the remnants of the creature. Jack nodded solemnly, a knot tightening in his stomach. The legend of the Wendigo spoke of its ability to reform, to return from the brink of defeat with a renewed hunger for vengeance. He knew their battle was far from won. As if in response to their thoughts, a low, haunting growl reverberated through the cavern, a sound that chilled their very bones. From the swirling mists emerged a faint, flickering ember, a spark of the Wendigo's essence that refused to be extinguished. With a surge of malevolent energy, the Wendigo's form began to coalesce once more, its eyes burning with an unholy light. Jack and Eleanor exchanged a grim glance, knowing they faced a foe that defied the laws of nature and reason. In a blur of motion, the Wendigo lunged forward, its claws slashing through the air with deadly precision. Jack and Eleanor fought back to back, their movements synchronized in a desperate dance of survival. Each strike of Eleanor's ancient charms and Jack's silver blade seemed to weaken the creature momentarily, but its resilience was unnerving. The battle raged on through the night, the cavern echoing with the clash of steel and the creature's blood-curdling shrieks. Jack's muscles burned with exhaustion, yet he summoned every ounce of strength and determination, driven by the need to protect the town and those he held dear. With a calculated maneuver, Eleanor chanted a powerful incantation, weaving ancient words of binding and banishment. The cave trembled with unseen forces as she called upon the spirits of the land to aid in their struggle against the Wendigo's unyielding wrath. For a fleeting moment, the Wendigo faltered, a testament to the potency of Eleanor's magic and Jack's unwavering resolve. Sensing an opportunity, Jack delivered a decisive blow, his silver blade piercing the creature's heart with a blinding flash of light. The Wendigo let out a final, piercing wail, a chorus of agony that echoed through the cavern as its form dissolved into nothingness once more. The air around them seemed to sigh in relief, the oppressive darkness lifting like a veil. Exhausted yet victorious, Jack and Eleanor leaned against the cave walls, their chests heaving with exertion. They had faced the unimaginable, defied the odds, and emerged stronger for it. But as they caught their breath, a sobering realization settled over them. The Wendigo's defeat was temporary, its hunger insatiable. As they emerged from the cave into the light of dawn, they knew their battle was far from over. The Wendigo's spirit would linger in the shadows, biding its time until it could rise again. Jack glanced at Eleanor, a silent understanding passing between them. They would need to remain vigilant, to continue their quest to protect the town and confront the darkness that lurked within the Ozark Mountains. For Jack and Eleanor, the journey had forged an unbreakable bond, a testament to their courage, resilience, and unwavering determination in the face of unending darkness. Part 6: Shadows of Authority. As Jack and Eleanor emerged from the depths of the cavern, their bodies weary but spirits defiant, a sense of uneasy calm settled over the Ozark Mountains. The Wendigo's malevolent presence had been vanquished for now, but the memory of its relentless pursuit lingered like a shadow in the corners of their minds. Dawn painted the sky in hues of amber and rose as they made their way back to Willow Creek, the air thick with the scent of pine and damp earth. Jack stole a glance at Eleanor, her brow furrowed in contemplation, a silent acknowledgement passing between them of the trials they had faced together. Their footsteps echoed on the forest path until they reached the outskirts of town, where a lone figure awaited them, a man dressed in a suit that seemed out of place amidst the rustic surroundings. His demeanor was stern yet calculated, his gaze piercing as he stepped forward to greet them. "Jack, Eleanor," he began, his voice betraying no emotion, "I represent a government agency tasked with investigating and containing supernatural phenomena." Jack exchanged a puzzled glance with Eleanor, curiosity mingling with apprehension. The man continued, his tone measured yet urgent. "The events of recent months have not gone unnoticed. Your encounters with the Wendigo and other supernatural entities have drawn our attention." Eleanor's eyes narrowed slightly, a flicker of suspicion crossing her features. "And what does your agency want with us?" The man's expression softened imperceptibly, a glimmer of understanding in his eyes. "We recognize your abilities, your courage in the face of the unknown. We believe you could be valuable allies in our ongoing efforts to protect innocent lives from the dangers that lurk beyond our understanding." Jack and Eleanor exchanged a silent glance, weighing the implications of the man's words. The allure of knowledge and resources at their disposal was undeniable, yet they knew the risks of aligning themselves with shadowy forces. After a moment of tense silence, Jack spoke, his voice steady with resolve. "We'll consider your offer. But know this, we won't be used as pawns in your game. Our priority has always been protecting our community." The man nodded, his expression unreadable. "Understood. Take your time to decide. You know where to find us." With that, he turned and disappeared into the early morning mist, leaving Jack and Eleanor to ponder the choice before them. The sun rose higher in the sky, casting long shadows across the quiet streets of Willow Creek. As they walked through town, the familiar sights and sounds of everyday life seemed tinged with a newfound awareness of the supernatural forces that lurked just beyond the veil. Jack glanced at Eleanor, a silent question in his eyes. She met his gaze with a determined nod. "We'll continue our research, our investigations. But on our terms." Jack nodded in agreement, a weight lifting from his shoulders. They had faced the darkness together, and they would continue to do so, on their own terms, with their own sense of purpose. As they walked toward the heart of Willow Creek, the town nestled in the embrace of the Ozark Mountains, Jack and Eleanor knew that their journey was far from over. The future held endless possibilities, both perilous and promising, as they navigated the shadows of authority and forged their own path through the supernatural mysteries that haunted their world.